Hello, you brilliant minds. Welcome to this live stream. Okay, so today I want to talk about energy, not energy as in spiritual energy, energy as in the stuff that you need to get things done. So, a lot of the clients that come to me come in for a number of things, right? Some come because they want to make more money, some they want to lose weight, they want to get in shape, some want better relationships with their clients. So typically with their partners. So typically at the beginning of a session, I'll ask them, okay, where do you want to be and where are you right now? And they'll start telling me where they are right now. And they say, well, I can't do the things that I want every time I try. So let's say it's weight loss. Every time I try, I start working out and then I run out of energy. Or, it gets to the point where I can't even put my sneakers on because there's so many other things I have to do. I'm thinking ahead of all the cooking and cleaning and childcare and just other responsibilities. And I'm so tired by the time I have to do whatever it is I have to do to put my sneakers on and get out the door that I don't do it. I put myself first. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a little while about what it means to put yourself first. And so I just don't do it. And this is the same for women that own businesses. They want to reach out to clients, they want to go live, they want to do all these things, but they're just so run down and they don't have the energy that they think they need to get the thing done. Same thing in romantic relationships. It's like, oh my gosh, my partner is exhausting me, they're pissing me off, they are draining me, so there is no energy left to work on my relationship, all the things that I know I'm supposed to be doing, going on date nights, doing things to feel good about myself, dressing up. I don't have the energy for that. So every time we do a hypnotherapy session for that, it's always very similar. So the underlying problem is individual for everyone. Like, you really don't know what is keeping you from reaching your goals until you ask your own subconscious, because that is based on everyone's individual blueprint. But there are some things that are always the same across the border, and I want to share that with you today. So if you're listening to this, and by the way, if you're watching, say hashtag team replay if you're catching the replay, and let me know your thoughts, because that's how I know in the next live stream how to help you and answer your questions if you do have any questions. So anyway, right, the things that are very similar all across the board is that you aren't, the number one thing that I would say is you're not actually wanting the thing that you think you want. So let's say you want to get fit. You have this idea of someone in the future that's supposed to be you, and that person is fit, and you want that life, but you're not actually claiming the identity of that person. You are not connecting with that person. So that's the number one thing I see, that people are disconnected from the thing that they want. So it's not, they can understand it, they can dream it, they can want it, they feel it, but they're not connected to it. They're not seeing themselves as that woman that has that thing. So let's say you want to lose weight, right? But if you're calling yourself fat, if you're calling yourself lazy, if you're saying things like, oh, I just have no willpower, oh my gosh, I'm a foodie, I love food, those are your identities. So there's two parts to that, okay? So one, you're just completely rejecting the identity of a healthy person because you are not claiming it as your own. But two, there might be judgment in yourself when you use words like that. So there's nothing wrong with being fat or lazy or whatever, right? It's just, that is all just a byproduct, a result of a series of decisions and events. And it's just something you use to describe something. If you do not want to be that thing, then you decide to change your thoughts, change your emotions, change your actions, and it changes the outcome. But if you are deciding that you are those things and you're not just identifying as them, but you're also being judgmental about it, right? If you think that you're less of a human being because you're quote unquote fat or lazy or whatever, now there's subliminal identities taking place. Now you're feeling unworthy. Now you're identifying as a person who probably doesn't have the right to take up as much space as a thin person. Do you see how your mind will start to put you in a category of what you believe a fat person deserves? And when you use certain words on yourself, you're claiming it. You're claiming it. This is, again, this could be used for money. If you say things like, I'm broke, I'm stressed out, I'm worried about the bills, I'm worried about the future, I'm worried about my retirement, you're taking on that identity. And when you take on an identity, you have to remember, subconscious doesn't speak English. It doesn't speak Spanish or Mandarin or Chinese. It doesn't speak in words. It speaks in pictures and emotions. So when you use words to describe yourself, you're creating images in your mind that are making you feel something. So let's say you're in a relationship and it's not a happy relationship. You don't feel very loved. And you say things like, I'm lonely. Well, you're feeding that image to your mind, and your mind is scanning everything that it knows to be true about loneliness. Your mind is not sitting there going, oh no, don't feel like that. No, that's not true. Look at all these friends. It's not doing that. It's just accepting what you are telling it to feel. So if you say something like, I'm lonely, your mind is scanning everything that you know about loneliness, and it's saying, okay, your wish is my command. Here are some ways for you to feel lonely. And what it's going to do, it's going to have you notice all the reasons why you are lonely. It's going to make you feel like a bad friend. It's going to make you be hyper focused on what your romantic partner doesn't do for you so that you can feel into that loneliness. It's going to make you feel like you don't want to go out. It's going to suck out your energy and stop you from going out and socializing. I want you to hear that last part. It's going to suck out your energy. So your mind works with your nervous system to help you either take action or refrain from taking action towards your goals. So if your goal is loneliness, because you are claiming that, that's going to send a signal to your nervous system to be like, hey, she wants to be lonely. Do not give her energy. Make her, go on her phone, make that feel the comfortable, make scrolling be the comfortable thing. Make watching TV the comfortable thing. Make judging and criticizing the comfortable thing. That way she doesn't like anyone. And that's how your mind is going to work to make sure that you are lonely. With money, if you're saying, I'm broke, I struggle to make money, your mind is going to say, your wish is my command. So it's going to stop you from taking action to go and make more money. It's going to keep you hyper focused and aware of everything that's going wrong in the world that has to do with money. And that way, anytime you get a whiff of motivation that says, you know what, I'm going to start a business, or I just got a great idea for an invention about something, you're not going to take action. Your energy is going to drain. It's going to stop you, because whatever you identify as, it's like a thermometer, right? So let's say the thermometer is at 70 and it starts to get really hot. The AC is going to turn on and it's going to bring the temperature back down. Or if it starts getting really cold, the heater is going to turn on and it's going to start getting warmer, right? It's going to go back up to 70 because that's where it's at. So for you, it's the same. Whatever you identify as, if you identify as a broke person and you get this genius idea, the thermometer is going to turn on and you're going to lose energy so that you can be brought back down and stay in this identity. Or if you start getting too lazy and too broke, and you really start struggling and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, no, I don't like this. And you're going to do something, you're going to gain energy that's going to bring you back up here. That's for everything. If you are saying, my health is, whatever, I'm not healthy. Well, consciously you might want to lose weight, so you get this idea to go on a fabulous diet that works, and you're going to work out, and you start doing all these things, but your thermometer goes, no, that's not who you are. But then if you start eating too much junk food every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the thermometer is like, hey, go get a carrot. This is where you belong. So that's where you stay. So anytime you don't have the energy to do something, that's your thermometer saying, hey, you're going up too high. You need to come down. And so it uses the path of least resistance, which is typically energy. Because if you don't have the energy to do anything, to take action, then that's pretty easy to just keep you where you are, right? So another way of saying that is there is no better way to not get ahead than to not take action. And you don't take action if you feel tired, if you feel overstimulated and overwhelmed. That's a pretty easy feeling. But the thing is that you think that the anxiety and the depression and the sadness and the low energy comes from the food you're eating or all the stress of work and everything. But no, it's all in your mind. It's all in the interpretation of everything around you. And everything that is happening around you, you are interpreting a certain way. So it's almost like you're wearing glasses, and as information is being fed to you from the outside world, you are processing that information and you are deciding what to do with that based on your own internal identity. So this is not based on your conscious goals. Consciously, you might be wanting to make a lot of money. You might be wanting to make your business boom. You might be wanting to get fit. You might be wanting to save your marriage. But if that is not the identity that you have created, then you are processing it through those old glasses. So when that information comes in, you are deciphering the information and you are making it negative. So it doesn't matter what's happening outside of you, whether it's like the government or your kids' schools or the prices of food, anything your husband or boyfriend tells you, anything that comes in, it's either going to be processed as negative or positive to serve your goals, not your conscious goals, your identity goals, right? Because consciously, again, you might be wanting to have a $100,000 month, but subconsciously you might think that like money is evil, the root of all evil. So that doesn't work. Do you see how that doesn't work? So the way you change this using hypnotherapy is that you go inside your mind and you ask it, what do you want? What is it that you truly want? I'll give you some examples of this. Okay, so every time someone comes in, weight loss is such an easy one because it's very popular. They'll say, I want to lose weight. I want to look like this. I want to be a size 2, a size 4, whatever. I want to play with my kids. All the stories are very similar. But then subconscious will say, actually, no, I don't. How no? I made up my decision when I was a kid that I would never be small again because I saw my dad hitting my mom and I didn't want to be weak like that, or because I was bullied, or because I was assaulted, or because the women that I look up to in my family were all bigger and I wanted to be like them. Again, you don't know this consciously. This is a subconscious thought that is running your programming. And I see it a lot with women in business also, where they want to have this very successful business and they dream about helping people, but then subconsciously they regress back to, a time where somebody trusted them with money and they made poor choices. So now they're afraid of mismanaging funds for a business. or they're scared to lead people because their mom used to tell them that they were good for nothing, or their dad. And so that little girl is still inside of them, is still running the programming. It's still the one that is calling all the shots. So I'll give you a very quick exercise that you can do on your own. If you want to have your own RTT session, send me a DM. It's also in the link in my bio. But if you want to do it by yourself, what you want to do is you want to roll your eyes up. So you'll roll your eyes up as if you can look at your own eyebrows like this. I know that looks so creepy. And you should feel the fluttering in your eyes. You do that for about 10 seconds. Close your eyes and imagine yourself going down. So whatever works for you, you can imagine yourself going down a flight of stairs or an elevator, or maybe going down into the ocean. You do that for a count of 10. And then you ask yourself, why don't I really want this? Why don't I want this? And listen to your intuition. Whatever is the first thing that pops up for you, then that's probably it. And that's going to give you a great starting point, because you can't make any progress if you don't know where you're truly starting from. So a lot of women fail because they start from this like fake, false sense of motivation, right? That they get like on New Year's Eve or for a special occasion. And they're like, okay, I'm going to start working out. I'm going to get my business going. I'm going to do all these things. And then 2-3 days later, their thermometer is all out of whack. So it's like forcing them to go down. And sometimes when you try to go up too fast, when you try to be successful at something that you want too fast, when your paradigm pulls you down, it pulls you down hard. So it will literally start like making you feel depressed or anxious, and you will just self-sabotage the heck out of whatever decision you're trying to make, because it is so unrecognizable and so out of alignment with your true identity. So your body and your nervous system will freak out, and they will start throwing all the negative things at you so that you can bring yourself down, because it thinks it's keeping you safe, right? So you can see like a little girl that decided she wanted to be big when she was little. That was her mind trying to survive a horrible event. So that made sense, right? For little minds are so resilient and they make up all these things. But as an adult, it's no longer serving her, right? And in fact, it might be killing her, because if she's big, that means there might be some heart disease going on. There might be some issues with their health, with diabetes, depending on how they're subconsciously keeping themselves big, right? So it's no longer, it's very outdated programming. So what you want to do, so anyway, my point with that is you want to know where you're starting. So if you think you're starting from a place of like, oh yeah, I'm great, I'm motivated, that's not real. That's not real. The real place where you're starting from is that subconscious identity. Another way to figure out where you really are is kind of working backwards. So if you just look at your life, look at your bank account, look at your body, look at your relationship, whatever you see is happening there is what you subconsciously want. It's what you programmed yourself to be. That might have been when you were a little girl. It might have been when you were a teenager. Sometimes if you've experienced trauma, it might have been as an adult. But everything is a result of your subconscious beliefs. Your mind will always give you the thing that you see yourself as. So that, again, that's why it's so important to figure out the truth about how you see yourself. So I gave you that exercise. You can check and you can really go in and ask your mind. So let's say you've been wanting to make, $10,000 months forever, and you haven't been able to make that happen. Well, if you go into your subconscious and ask it, why don't I want it? It's going to tell you. And then that could be the starting point, and you can work through that. So you can get a therapist or coach, or if you have the tools for that, then now you know what you're working with, right? And the other way is just to look at your life. Just look at your life, look at everything. Again, remove the judgment from it, because the judgment makes you feel that if you are not where you want to be, that you are somehow less worthy. And if you feel like you're not worthy, then you're not really going to put a lot of effort into the healing. So just remove the judgment and just observe. Oh, I am not making that much money. Oh, I don't feel good in my body. Oh my gosh, my marriage is like really on the rocks. And before you try to change anything outside of you, change the identity. Change what's happening on the inside. That's what creates results. If you look at anybody that you admire, any actress, any personality, athlete, whatever, they all have that confidence in that identity, right? There might be other parts of their lives where they don't feel as confident, but wherever they are successful, that means that a part of them knew that they were just going to be that person. And don't fall for that, because I know a lot of people will say like, oh, well, I have imposter syndrome, like a lot of famous people, but that might just be conscious, because subconsciously, if you have something, it's because you identified with it. It's that simple. Anything that you want, all you have to do is create the identity. So once you lock in that identity of I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am in my empowered feminine energy, I'm a great manifester. What that's going to do is the thermostat is going to change. So if it was at 70, it's going to go to like 90. So now, in order for you to get to 90, it's going to have to give you the energy. It's going to communicate with your nervous system, and you're going to get this burst of energy. I just sent out an email today about this lady who lost 30 pounds in 2 months. She's been trying to lose weight for nearly 3 decades without being able to do so. We had the RTT session, and she found out that her little mind had said, I'm not going to be big like ever. I'm not going to be small. I'm going to be big. There were a lot of traumas that were going on in her household at the time. And her little mind was like, damn, like small people are weak. So she created this persona. And I mean, this was a mother who was like going on diets. She was trying her best to work out. She was eating less than everyone in her entire family. And she was still bigger than all of them, like significantly bigger. And after her RTT session, she got this burst of energy. She started going to the gym 7 days a week. That was not something that she forced herself to do. That was not something she told herself she had to do. That wasn't even something that she expected. All of a sudden, her body started craving it. Like you couldn't stop her. You can't stop her. That's like who she is now. And before that, she was also the woman that was like, oh my gosh, like I wish I could eat healthy, but I just can't afford it. She was complaining about the prices of everything. She's like, everything's gone up. I go to Costco, I go to Sam's, and I still can't save money. This woman is buying all her food at Whole Foods now. Every meal, she has 3 children, a husband, herself, busy schedule, and she is cooking every single day, and she's buying everything from Whole Foods. Because now she created the identity of a healthy person. So her mind is helping her find solutions. Her mind is saying, okay, yeah, if you do it like this, and it's giving her the energy. It's filling her with energy to cook the meals, to get the things done, to go work out. She can't help herself. She wants to go work out, and you couldn't stop her. And then one of the things that she shared with me, which I totally love, she's like, oh my gosh, I feel like a teenager. My husband, like all he wants to do is have sex. Like I can get him to do anything now. He just keeps asking me like, babe, do you want to hang out? Do you want to do this? Do you want, like, what can I help you with? And I know especially as a woman. I know a lot of us ladies are kind of like, what a dick, so like she lost weight and now he's being nice. But she did have the conversation with him, and he said to her that it wasn't so much about the weight. He does like the changes that are happening in her body, but he has a lot of work to do on his body too. But what he liked about her is that she was herself again. He remembered the woman that he fell in love with because she was being herself again. She was happy. She was energetic. She was giving ideas. She wasn't just complaining about things. She was asking them to help them out, but she was in such a great mood that everybody was like, okay, like, let's help, And so everything, because her energy changed, because of the way she felt about herself, the energy in her home changed. And everybody started being responsive to that, including her teenage sons. She's like, I have all this energy now and I feel like I can communicate with them better. I don't feel like this shell of myself, like old fat mom. Like I feel good about myself and I feel playful and I want to go do things and I want to go on outings and I want to go hiking and I want to do things. This happened in 2 months. 2 months. Can you imagine? Like, and now she has all these way bigger dreams. Like before, her dream was like, if I could just lose weight. And that was just a matter of an identity change. And now that happened so fast, now she has like all these ideas to travel, to do things with her family before her kids go off to college. She can see herself retiring and like traveling, because now she's like, well, I'm not going to be like the old lady with the weight issues. I feel like I'm going to be like the fit older lady, like going to Greece and Rome with my husband. Like it's a whole new person. It's a whole new person. But that was able to happen because we were able to figure out on a subconscious level who she really saw herself as. We were able to do the RTT therapy on that, which helped us clear her trauma. And then we were able to program her with a new identity, which she got to choose based on everything she wanted. One of the things I shared in the email, she said, she's like, well, I feel like a super mom already because I'm always driving the kids around. I'm always doing things. Like I never stop. She's like, I would like to match that, how I see myself. She's like, when I think of super mom, I think of like the tiny waist and the strong arms and the lean legs and all the energy in the world. And that's how I want to identify. So that's when we did her hypnosis. That's how we programmed her. And that's how she sees herself now. And now she's going to work on that. She's working on the weight loss first. And then she's going to start working on like building that muscle and really creating that lean form. But she's honestly more than halfway there. So that's pretty amazing. If you want to do that, again, I have 2 RTT packages. I have one for a single issue that is about 30 to 45 days. That is the RTT Freedom package in my bio. Or I have the Freedom Trifecta. That is my 90-day package. That is for if you want a series of 3 things. So typically with this one, we'll do money, love, and health. But if there are 3 things that you want to change about your life and reprogram yourself, then we will do that. But it's pretty amazing stuff. Again, so just to recap, right? If your energy is down, it's because you are trying to go above where you see yourself. So your thermostat is pulling you down. It's saying, no. You're trying to be healthy. You're trying to be rich. You're trying to be loved. But this is not matching your identity. So it's getting your nervous system and your thoughts to bring down your energy. So every time you want to do something and you're saying to yourself, oh, I think I'm just going to scroll on the phone. Oh, it's too cold outside. Oh, I had a long day. That is your paradigm pulling you back. That's how it works. It uses logic to bring you down to your identity. And again, if you go way too low, if you go below it, if you start eating junk food every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if you start feeling super unlovable and thinking horrible things about your husband, if you start spending all your money and like throwing it out into the world, then your thermostat is going to give you energy to bring you back up. It's going to say like, hey, no, you don't belong all the way down here. Come back up here. Go do something to make more money. Go do something to get healthier. Go do something to feel more loved. But it's always going to meet you where you are. It's always just to go, no worries. Oh, that sounds delicious. It's so warm where I am. Cucumber. Oh, love. But yes, right? So anytime you want to gain energy to meet your goals, figure out where your identity is. Go back to the exercise I showed you about how to hypnotize yourself. Ask yourself, where am I really? What am I working with really? And then follow your intuition for the next steps. So if you need to meet with a therapist, with a coach, with someone, if you need to do some shadow work, if you need to listen to a hypnosis, change your identity, change the way you see yourself. Because when you bring the thermostat up, if you see yourself as unhealthy or, and suddenly you're saying, you know what, I'm in pretty good shape. Now, everything that you've been doing is not going to be enough. So you're going to get that surge of energy. Everything inside of you is going to be saying, no, get off the couch. Like this, you're going to get anxiety sitting down. You're going to be looking for ways to go to the grocery store and cook some, meal prep. You're going to want to meal prep. You're going to want to do things. If you are saying, you know what, I'm making $7,000 a month right now, but I want to be making $20,000, and you really change that identity, you're going to get hit with a surge of ideas. You're going to start bumping into people that can help you make investments. You are going to be led to people that want you to work for them, whatever. But things will start to change in the energetic field. And that's going to come from a surge of energy you will feel in your body. But you just have to decide. You just have to decide what it is that you want, who you are, lock that in, and then watch as your energy goes up. Okay, so I have to go. I love you guys so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to DM me, leave a comment, say #replay. I love you so much. That exercise works. Use it. Okay? Love you. Bye.